Hello, and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Elise Linares.
And I'm Daniel Parker.
The United Arab Emirates is saying it will leave the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries on May 1st. This will strip the oil cartel of one of its largest producers, which will weaken global oil supplies. The announcement does not change the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, but it could lower oil prices after the war. This comes after Iran's offer to end its control over the Strait of Hormuz if the U.S. lifts its blockade and ends the war. This proposal has postponed discussion for the Islamic Republic's nuclear program. Since the war began, at least 3,375 people have been killed in Iran.
The Correspondents' Dinner was filled with journalists who covered both the president and White House. Oz Perlman, known as the Mentalist, was the featured guest for the event, which was one of many fearful for his life.
Just look at each other for about 2 seconds, and my mind, obviously this is like a huge adrenaline, is just like, oh no, are we about to die?
No major injuries were reported, but one Secret Service agent was struck by the gunman.
The shooter has been identified as Cole Allen, who was an engineer from Torrance, California. Local authorities at the Capitol say the suspect fired more than one shot before being detained by the Secret Service. Allen carried a shotgun, a pistol, and multiple knives with him with an agenda of targeting the president. Before his attempted attack, Allen sent an anti-Trump manifesto to his immediate family where he laid out his plans and his motives.
The Department of Justice is asking the National Trust for Historic Preservation to drop its lawsuit against President Trump's ballroom project. After the assassination attempt that occurred over the weekend, there is a divide over whether the ballroom ensures or jeopardizes the safety of the president and his cabinet. The Assistant Attorney General of the DOJ's Civil Division says the lawsuit puts the lives of the president and his family and staff at grave risk.
President Trump is saying that Iran has a limited number of days before its oil infrastructure implodes. The president says that if Iran is unable to continue exporting oil, the pipelines will eventually fail. Tehran is running out of storage space after it has been forced to move its oil to onshore tanks that are not designed to hold a lot of oil. Experts are saying that Iran could be forced to shut down its oil fields because of the U.S. naval blockade, risking long-term damage to its crude production.
Oil prices are rising again after a second round of peace talks was postponed. Brent crude oil rose over 3%, reaching almost $109 per barrel at the beginning of the week, after Washington canceled plans to send a team to Pakistan for negotiations with its Iranian counterparts. There are concerns for rising oil prices, and UK energy bills could rise this year if a deal is not reached soon.
An investigation is underway on a shooting that took place near Indiana University that left several injured. The shooting began after a fight broke out near campus when people gathered for Little 500, which is the school's yearly bike race. Police responded after hearing multiple gunshots. Officials believe that 2 males fired their weapons, which struck those in the nearby area. All but one victim have been released from the hospital, and police are yet to make arrests or recover the weapon behind the attacks.
Arizona's Attorney General Chris Mays is filing a lawsuit in hopes of blocking the government's move to build an ICE detention center in Surprise, Arizona. The main reason for the lawsuit is claims that the detention center lacks the required federal guidelines for safety. The proposed build would place the detention center across the street from a dangerous chemical facility. Worries over the fire safety hazards have also led Mays and other opposers to call for change. ICE responded to the claims and has said that this is retaliation to disdain for President Trump rather than the environmental concerns.
Tennessee officials are calling for justice in response to the release of a Memphis high school student, Yasser Lopez Souza. The student was in an ICE detention center for 2 months. The community is saying that ICE is wrongfully putting people in these detention centers.
This is not the worst of the worst. These are not criminals. This is a kid living in his high school going to a soccer game.
Souza's attorneys are continuing to research the case and are unsure why Souza was pulled over in the first place.
Students at California State University Northridge held a protest to stop the alleged racial profiling and arrest of African American students on campus.
Our very own Marcus Nocerino was at the protests and has more.
The group was protesting and alleges that students of color have been recently arrested after allegedly being racially profiled. At this moment, They are speaking up for their rights, asking for the police to respect them.
I feel safe being on campus because I know I have a community to support me. I think if I were not in the SOAR coalition, where we're not like organizing with people, I would have a very different experience. I'd have an experience of being intensely surveilled, even as we organize and even as we put on stuff like this rally we did today.
Protesters gathered at the library lawn and marched all the way to Valera Hall.
I'm half Mexican, but I'm a white passing person. So as a white passing person, I really want to use my power and privilege to speak up for those people of color.
Students even spoke about their safety on campus.
I personally am not on campus a lot, so I don't really know my safety. I'm usually at home, but I do worry about some of the safety of the other students.
The university expressed their perspective on the issue through the Director of Media Relations, Carmen Chandler. She did mention that she's trying to make every student at the school feel safe, supported, and that they belonged on campus. And she did invite the Hands Off Students Coalition to meet with them to discuss their concerns, but they declined to meet. According to the California Faculty Association, campus police has arrested 6 students this academic year. 3 of them were African American. Reporting from Valera Hall, I'm Marcus Nocerino for Valley View News.
Thank you, Marcus. A Burbank man is being charged with murder after killing an elementary school teacher and injuring her daughter. Sergio Fair has been charged with a felony count of murder and 1 count of first-degree residential burglary. Fair pleaded not guilty on all counts and is due back in court in 2 months. The motive for the attack is still under investigation, with many believing the attacks were not random.
Spring heat is sparking climate concern after record-setting temperatures. Parts of California are having record low snowfall, and states in the West have seen triple-digit highs. Researchers are saying that human activity is a direct contributor to why the heat wave has lasted for so long. Experts also say human-caused climate change is making temperatures more intense.
A man is being charged with murdering his college roommate. Hisham Abu Garbia was arrested after he asked ChatGPT how to dispose of a body just a couple days before the remains of Zamil Lehmans was found. Lehmans, who attended the University of Florida, was from Bangladesh and went missing last week along with his classmate Nahida Bristi. His remains were found in a black trash bag near the Tampa Bridge earlier this week. Bristi is also missing, but police say there is no probability that she remains alive.
Southern California has the largest diaspora of Armenians outside their home country. Across Southland, the community came together to honor and commemorate the victims of the Armenian genocide.
Our very own Habes Pascual has more.
Hey guys, I'm here in Pasadena at the Memorial Park, where Armenians gathered today here in unity to honor the victims of the genocide of 1915.
Downtown Pasadena was a site of a special day of remembrance for the Armenian community.
In commemoration of the 111th anniversary of the Turkish perpetrated 1915-1923 Armenian genocide and massive dispossession. So we need to be vigilant and we need to support today's Armenian Republic, overcome the existential challenges.
Younger generations seem to be motivated to carry out this yearly commemoration into the future.
Yes, we came with her family here to respect the Armenians and the Armenian genocide and what we went through in 1915. And I'm here to respect them with my family, and I'm happy to be here.
111 years for the Armenian genocide, and I've lived all my life, most of my life in Pasadena. And the Armenian community, they're strong, resilient survivors.
Reporting from Pasadena, I'm Habes Pascual for Valley View News.
Thank you, Habes. This weekend, the 33rd edition of Fiesta Broadway took place, which was one of the largest celebrations in the country. The event brought thousands of people together for a day of fun, music, dance, cultural diversity, community, and great food. Those in attendance could also enjoy a live wrestling match that showcases the Latin style known as lucha libre. The celebration had something for everyone, and many felt very happy to be there.
I love it here. There's so much culture, so much diversity in the Latin community. It's nothing but love here.
Fiesta Broadway is an amazing display of the surrounding community and a great event that brings many people together.
Coming up after the break, your look at the world of entertainment.
And a look into the NFL draft picks. Stay with us.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to Valley View News. Elise, the new Michael Jackson biopic has taken the entertainment world by storm.
I can't wait to see the film. We'll have more on that movie soon, but first let's take a look at the box office. There are a lot of movies that are expected to do well at the box office this upcoming year. In theaters now, the new biopic Michael is making fans dance out of their seats. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is a massive box office success. The movie has brought in over $1.3 billion worldwide. Other highly anticipated movies for the summer are Toy Story 5, Supergirl: The Odyssey, and Spider-Man: Brand New Day. And late this winter, comic book fans will be in for a treat with Avengers: Doomsday dropping at the end of the year.
Diddy's documentary is dismissed from court after NBC, Universal, and Apple Entertainment were seen as irresponsible. The Peacock documentary, The Making of a Bad Boy, which premiered on the streaming service last month, included many interviews of Combs and associates over the years. Judge Perry Bond considered that the documentary lacked any merit and tossed the case.
President Trump is calling for the firing of Jimmy Kimmel after he made a joke regarding the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump. Kimmel remarked that Mrs. Trump had a glow like an expected widow. This comes after the incident that took place over the weekend, where there was an attempt to take out the president. Kimmel has since responded and says that the events that transpired felt like deja vu.
The Writers Guild of America has announced it has made a 4-year deal with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Over 90% of people voted for the deal, while the other 9% of people voted against it. The deal has affected studios like Paramount and Warner Brothers, as well as streaming services like Netflix and Amazon. The deal will last for 4 years beginning on May 2nd of this year and ends on May 1st in 2030.
It's been 20 years since the music platform Spotify was released on the internet. Since the 20th anniversary, Spotify has announced the most streamed music artists. These artists are Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Ed Sheeran, and Billie Eilish. The platform has a whole playlist for users to listen to these named artists, followed by the 20th anniversary.
The new biopic Michael shattered the box office over the weekend as it broke the record for the biggest opening of all time for a musical biopic. The movie opened with a domestic opening of $97 million and made over $217 million worldwide. While the critic reviews haven't been kind to the movie, it does have a 97% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Toronto-born rapper Drake is preparing to drop his 9th studio album, Iceman, next month. Drake had an ice sculpture put in a Toronto parking lot with the date enclosed inside. Fans of Drake took to the lot to try and break through the ice. Pickaxes, water hoses, and even flamethrowers were some of the methods used by those who attended. The album is set to release on May 15th by OVO Sound and Republic Records.
Michael Jackson's biopic is one of the most anticipated movies so far this year.
With many looking to see the pop legend is portrayed on the big screen, our very own Luka Chkhaidze was in Burbank to get the public's thoughts.
The spring movie season is still going strong as the new biopic, Michael, hit theaters this weekend, highlighting the legendary career of Michael Jackson.
Fans were excited to see how the film would bring Michael's story to life on the big screen, especially with Jafar Jackson, Michael's nephew, stepping into the role of the king of pop.
I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty good. The music, they did a good job with that too. Yeah,
I thought the performances were good. I think it was like a lot of the main historical beats of Michael's life, so I think it doesn't go in depth in like a lot of things, which like I think could be narrative more interesting. But yeah, I think as like a film goer, I think people are going to be happy with it.
While Michael Jackson has a massive global fan base, controversy later on in his life has led some people to question whether it could impact the movie's box office performance.
I don't think so. I mean, if you're a fan, you're a fan. Like, I mean, and people know how to separate the art and the person, and you know, it kind of puts some context in why he is the way he is, and you know, who he comes to be. So
Whether you're a lifelong fan or not, Michael is expected to be one of the biggest films of the year. Reporting from AMC Burbank 16, I'm Luka Chkhaidze, Valley View News.
Thank you, Luka. Hey, Daniel, any NFL draft picks that you were surprised to see over the weekend?
I don't think there was any surprises, and without a doubt, I think Fernando is going to be our number 1 overall the entire time.
I agree, but for more on that, let's check in with sports with Erick Mejia.
Thanks, guys. I do think there is one little surprise in the Rams side of the NFL draft, but first, the NBA playoffs continue to see intensity and high energy in the first round. After dropping a physical game in Houston, the Lakers look to close out their series against Houston to send the Rockets into the offseason. LeBron's dominance inside the paint proved to be unstoppable even at the age of 41. The Timberwolves have looked strong against the Denver Nuggets, but with DiVincenzo tearing his Achilles and star Anthony Edwards being out for the foreseeable future, their playoff run is in doubt. On the other side of the bracket, the San Antonio Spurs are looking extremely strong with Wembanyama back in the lineup. His return has proved to be vital defensively with his 7 blocks throughout the game. They won their series against the Portland Trailblazers 4-1. Meanwhile, the Celtics have dominated the 76ers with Jason Tatum's return proving to be important. In Game 4, he had 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 11 assists for his double-double. But they dropped a vital Game 5 where the 76ers, despite Embiid's injury, they forced a Game 6. The Eastern Conference number 1 seeded Detroit Pistons are down 3-1 in their series against the Orlando Magic, a big comparison to the Western Conference number 1 seeded OKC Thunder, who swept the Suns to set up a potential Lakers second-round matchup. The NHL playoffs continue to showcase intensity and last-minute excitement. Ryan Poehling scored at minute 229 of overtime to give the Anaheim Ducks a 4-3 win against the Edmonton Oilers in Game 4 of the Western Conference first round at Honda Center on Sunday. Following his own face-off wins, Poehling sent a centering pass toward the crease that hit off the skate of Oilers defenseman Darnell Nurse, and that was nudged just across the goal line by the skate of the goalie Tristan Harry. The LA Kings, on the other hand, will enjoy the offseason after being swept by the Colorado Avalanche. The NFL draft happened across last weekend, and what an interesting set of events took place in this year's draft. The LA Rams used their first-round pick to select quarterback Ty Simpson with the 13th overall pick. Fans are divided on the selection, especially after Matthew Stafford's MVP season. In the second round, the Rams picked Max Clare, adding to their deep pool of tight ends. The Chargers used their first-round pick to select defense lineman Akeem Mesidor out of the University of Miami. But the draft was highlighted by Heisman Trophy holder Fernando Mendoza, who was selected first overall by the Las Vegas Raiders. He had this to say.
There's a lot of anticipation coming to this pick, but now I'm really glad that all the outside noise is done. I'm officially a Raider. I'm excited to be humble and hungry and get to work.
The Italian government and football officials have firmly rejected a proposal by a U.S. envoy to replace Iran with Italy at the 2026 World Cup. Despite tensions surrounding Iran's participation due to the war in the Middle East, Italian Sport Minister Andrea Ebodi stated that qualification is done on the pitch and called the idea inappropriate. This comes after Italy failed to qualify for the 3rd consecutive World Cup. More on the World Cup, 4 new tickets are up for resale altogether for family and friends, but it's not as good as it sounds. The tickets are being sold for $2,999,000 each. That works out to over $9 million for all 4 of those tickets. The World Cup is inching closer to kickoff, but tickets seem to be getting farther out of reach. That's all I have for sports, and, well, back to you guys.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, before you go, those ticket prices, would you consider buying those?
I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, right? I mean, it's $9 million for 4 tickets at the World Cup, and even then, when you go look at the tickets for like the group stage games, it's like $2,000 for the cheapest you can get at.
Right. Thank you, Eric. When we come back, we will have an interview with 2 co-founders of a student-funded production.
We'll also have a story of an 82-year-old barber in North Dakota.
Be ready for some warm days this weekend, but it's not going to last very long. I'll have more coming up with the weather after the break.
I don't remember how it started.
our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Welcome back to Valley View News. Elise, man, it's really starting to feel like summer. I don't know about you.
I know, the drive here was beautiful. The sun's out. It's warm again.
And Luka will have your forecast with more.
Well, thank you guys. Yes, we're going to have some warm weather this weekend, but after that, we will see a bit of a cool down. Let's take a look here. In the San Fernando Valley, the weekend will start pretty warm on Saturday with the high of 81 degrees, with the lows being in the low to mid 50s. Sunday, we will see a bit of a cool down with the high being 74 degrees and the lows being in the mid 50s. Early next week, we will see partly cloudy skies with the highs in the upper 70s to the mid 80s and lows in the low 50s to the high 50s. Moving on towards downtown Los Angeles, expect some cool weather with the highs in the mid to high 70s and during the night, lows in the mid to high 50s. Early next week, we will see a decrease in temperature as the highs will be in the mid to high 60s throughout the week with mostly cloudy skies early in the mornings with partly cloudy skies appearing in the afternoon. Heading towards the beaches, we will see some crisp weather this weekend with highs in the mid to high 70s with lows around the mid 50s with some partly cloudy skies during the day. After the weekend, it will be much colder with highs in the mid to high 60s and lows around the low to mid 50s with mostly cloudy skies during the day. Moving on towards the Inland Empire. Starting Saturday, we will see highs in the low 80s with some mostly cloudy skies and lows in the mid to high 50s. On Sunday, we will see a dip in the temperature with the highs being in the low 70s with some cloudy skies. Early next week, we will see highs between the high 60s to low 70s and lows around the low to mid 50s with sunny skies on Tuesday. But there is a 40% chance of seeing rain on Wednesday. Now, with colder weather coming in the next week, be prepared to wear extra clothing to stay warm, especially if there is rain during the week. Now, that's all I have for the weather. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Luka. Storytelling comes to life on the big screen, but it's the work behind the camera that may go unnoticed.
Valley View's own Leyva sat down with two college students who started their own production company while also balancing a college workload. Let's take a look.
I'm joined today by the co-founders of Kiki Films and Media Production. Creating art and storytelling is such a difficult task, but these two college students here at CSUN are paving their own path. Here today to tell us more is Kate Noble and Alyssa Hernandez. Thank you guys for joining us today in the studio.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah. So as co-founders of the company, how do your roles kind of differ, and what do you guys feel like you bring to the production?
Yeah, do you want to? Yeah, so I focus more on the logistical and like financing part of the company, and
yeah, and I would say I'm more on the creative aspects and like the communications. Both of us really do communicate with everybody, but in terms of like connecting with people and just like kind of bringing everyone together and like doing our post or like advertisement, I would say it's a little bit more on my end, just because I feel like she's the backbone and like creating all the insurances and budgeting and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but both of us on our projects, we're both producing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And Kate, you said your emphasis is like on the producing side. When would you say like you found that passion for like producing?
I would say at first when I came to CSUN, I really wanted to go in for like directing or cinematography. And then when I got the experience to direct on a CTV 250 class, I realized that I don't think it's the pathway I'm supposed to take. And I kind of like dabbled a little bit in producing just because I had to like help the producers a little bit just because we were all still learning. And I felt like I was kind of like the crazy director where I needed to know what was happening. And then that's where I fell in love with producing. And then after that, that's when we started to decide to produce a big project, and that's when I fell in love with it. And directing wasn't what I wanted to do, it was producing.
And then, Alyssa, you're more on like the media management side of everything. Do you feel like that's helped you so far in terms of like growing the company?
Yeah, it has. Studying entertainment media here at school has helped a lot, learning about like the industry and the business side of things. Initially, when I started here at CSUN taking film classes, I didn't know I wanted to do like business side. I thought I wanted to do a lot of production, but I've learned that I'm really passionate about all of the hard, difficult stuff that everyone wants to avoid. I really love that part of it, and yeah, I've learned a lot.
As women, you know, in such a competitive field, have you guys encountered any obstacles so far in your journey?
We've encountered some obstacles, of course. That's what happens in the industry, but from those we're able to learn so much, and we're able to overcome. Really think.
I think for me though, it's just kind of crazy because we have sets that are like almost 30 people to 40 people, and we really just work with like less than like 8 girls per shoot, and like let's say a 30-person crew and cast. So for me, it's more like trying to prove to everybody that like, yeah, we're just producers, but we could do more. Like, we want to be more involved. Like, that's why for us, we like to double stack on roles in productions. Like, I like to production design and produce. She likes to AD and produce. Yeah. And like, we feel like those are both head department roles. For her too, especially as a first AD, you have like a 25 to 30 person like crew full of guys, and the person you're gonna listen to is your first AD. And for her to be able to like project herself as like this person who like they need to listen to, it's just, I think it's pretty empowering for her to just like to stand up in front of everyone and be like, hey, you guys need to listen to me, like we need to stay on schedule, and then for everybody to respect her. I think that's admirable.
Yeah, and I think with producing and like this company too, it's like helped us like not be afraid to use our voices like on set and outside of set. Like we've learned so much about like film, but also about ourselves as well.
I just want to thank you guys again for joining me. Production is such a complex thing, and you guys are doing that while in college.
Thank you.
That's amazing to see. That's all the questions I have. Daniel, Elise, back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Alan. If you're looking for a haircut, a man in North Dakota has been cutting hair for nearly 65 years.
A West Village barber is lifting the self-esteem of many by providing fresh haircuts to anyone who needs to look and feel good.
Orlando Roki's career started at 17 years old. Like many other teenagers his age, he was uncertain about his career path and limited employment options, but not for long. Roki found his niche as a barber, and for the last 65 years, he has built long-lasting professional relationships with his regular customers.
Now you know when you need a good haircut with a good positive attitude, look for Roki, who at 82 years old doesn't look to be stopping anytime soon.
That's all for us on Valley View News. I'm Elise Linares.
And I'm Daniel Parker. For updates, follow our YouTube channel at Valley View News and our Instagram page at Valley View News CSUN. Thanks for watching.